single car garage, detached homes built in the early 2000s. Like this whole patch of this neighborhood is pretty much built in the early 2000s. So yeah, that's what you get in this neighborhood. I personally do live in this neighborhood, so this place is literally 3 minutes from where I live. All of them are freehold in the sense that there is no corner fee and no what we call POTL fees as well. So they are completely freehold. This home is how I would define the turnkey property, which basically you move in and start living without having to spend a dime. I mean, look at those tree lines that you see as I walk around, right? That tells you the age of this neighborhood. Very nice and mature neighborhood, especially if you are someone who is not looking for that typical two-story layouts, something other than that, and you definitely don't want a townhome. This could be a great option. Just look at how quiet this street is, and right across you can see there is I'm not sure if you can see, but we have one of the secondary schools right here. So you have been thinking of moving to Kitchener, Ontario, and you're wondering what can you really find these days in Kitchener between the price range of $700,000 to $800,000 as of summer 2025? Then stick around, because right here in this video, we are going to look at 4 different homes from low, mid to high $700,000 that I promise will give you a really hands-on perspective about each of your options between that $700,000 to $800,000. So stay tuned and let's get right into it. And just before we do get started, in case you're wondering who am I, my name is Detached. I am a local real estate agent serving Kitchener and surrounding towns, and I have people just like you reach out to me looking to relocate in and around Kitchener, Waterloo, and I absolutely love helping them. So whether you are thinking of moving in 9 days or 9 months, be sure to reach out. You can call me, text me, email me, or even schedule a Zoom call. All my contact info is right below in the description. I'll be more than happy to help you and family make a smooth move in and around Kitchener, Waterloo. Okay, so I'm at my first stop here, and this first home that I wanted to show you guys is this single detached 30 feet wide lot that you can actually see right behind me. That's the one we are looking at. That actually just sold about a week ago for $718 to be exact. I'm in the Highland West neighborhood, and let me tell you what this home has to offer. So this was a 3-bedroom, 3 washrooms, so 2 full and 1 half, with a finished basement. And you can see it's a 2-story, and all of them are about 30 feet wide lots. So, and you're looking about 100 feet deep. So you will have a decent sized backyard in the back, but single car garage, detached homes built in the early 2000s. Like this whole patch of this neighborhood is pretty much built in the early 2000s. So that's what you will be looking at. But the fact that you are able to get something like a detached that's not too old in this price range of low $700,000, it's a great option for sure, especially if you're a first-time home buyer. I know majority of my first-time home buyer clients, they would fall between that mid $600,000 to $800,000, more or less. So for someone looking in that price range and not wanting to go too old of a construction in a desirable neighborhood of Kitchener, this could be a great option. Now, this home in particular is close to 1,450 square feet above grade, which you have, 3-bedroom on the second level. You do have a 1 full washroom on that very level. And on the main level, you have your living, dining, kitchen. There's a walkout to the backyard. And of course, you have your 2-piece powder room. If you were to head to the basement, which is also finished in this home, you are looking at another 550 roughly square feet of finished space in the basement, and it does have 1 full bedroom. There is a rec room, there is an office, and there is a 3-piece washroom. So that's how, overall the living space is very functional, especially if you're a small family or a growing family. Something like this could be a great option. You're literally a walking distance to, Sand Hills Public School, which is an elementary school. If you have a Catholic school, there is St. Dominic Savio, which is a Catholic elementary school. So it's within the good school boundary. And at the same time, if I were to talk about the amenities, Highway 8 would be about less than 5 minutes from here. You are, in fact, very close to many great amenities in Waterloo. I have mentioned the Boardwalk Shopping Plaza in my videos in the past, and that, which is an outdoor strip mall, in case you are out of Kitchener, basically it has like 50 stores, like virtually everything you can think of, you have it pretty much within your, short drive, I would say, not a walk. As you can see, it's very suburban. You can see the streets around me. very quiet. So, that's what you get. And, in fact, if you love being outdoor in the nature, we are very close to some great trails and parks living in this neighborhood. So like I said, it's a great option for young and growing families. But, in case you're wondering, this is early 2000s. In case you are wondering what about, let's say if you were to go something slightly newer in this price range. So if you're okay with a townhome, that could be another great option. Within this low to mid 700,000, you will find a handful of townhome which are freehold. We are not talking about any condo fee or even a POTL fee with those, but low to mid 7 will give you a handful of options with a range of townhomes as well. Built, within last 5 years, in fact, featuring around close to 1,500 square feet of living space. And in fact, that's what I'm heading for my second home, which I'm going to show you. So that will give you a little bit of a rather diverse perspective as to what you can find if you were to rather go for something like a townhome, right? So, but it's going to be newer in this price range. So stay tuned. I'm going to give you a glimpse of this neighborhood. I mean, you can pretty much see all of them are single family detached, very nice and quiet communities. You can see very well manicured lawns and, lots of great, plantings. And there's a great curb appeal to most of these homes. So yeah, that's what you get in this neighborhood. I personally do live in this neighborhood. So this place is literally 3 minutes from where I live. So yeah, I can definitely, at least if there is anyone to vouch for this neighborhood, I mean, we have been living here for roughly 5 years in this neighborhood, and so far we love it. So that's a little bit my 2 cents of this neighborhood, this home. Now we have some idea about your options in this low 7s. I am gonna head to the mid 700,000. That's where we have our second place. So stay tuned and let's get right there. So this next home that I wanted to show you guys is actually this 2-story townhome that you can see right behind me, which sold 3 weeks ago for $744 to be exact. Just take a closer look at it. There's some background noise with the car detailing going on here. So I'm gonna move on and talk to you guys about what this home had to offer. So if you're looking for something rather new, this could be a great option. All of these homes are basically built within the last 2 to 3 years. And it's the whole Matme subdivision of the Wildflowers Crossing. So that's what you're looking at. This particular home in particular was built in 2023. What you have in this one is a 3-bedroom layout with 2.5 washrooms, so 2 full and 1 half. Typical of what you see these days in newer 2-story freehold townhomes. And yeah, all of them are freehold in the sense that there is no condo fee and no what we call POTL fees as well. So they are completely freehold. And like I said, mid 700. I mean, there are some options in the low 700s as well if you're looking for something similar. But this is where you will have some decision making to do. So this home, for example, is all of them, whatever is being sold, is going to be turnkey. It's going to be newer. You look at the finishes of this home very well. You're looking at 1,450 square feet above grade. Obviously, it's 2 years old, so they haven't finished the basement yet. But you can, locate yourself in a rather newer, growing community. And, you can get something newer in terms of construction. Or if you look at the home that we saw earlier, although it was a detached, about the same size, not a bad option. But just keep in mind that won't be a turnkey home, right? You could see, if you look at the pictures, if you had, you will notice that, some parts of the home could use some updates. And rightly so, because that home is about 20 to 25 years old, right? So that's where you will have to kind of decide between the two. Let me give you guys a quick walkthrough about this community as a whole. So there's a ton of new development, both the residential and the community development that's going on. Just to give you a few examples, I've done a whole lot of videos about this community and everything that's going on in this community, including the Matme, Heathwood Homes, Fusion. I just did a model home walkthrough for Fusion as well. So you can check it out right here on my channel. especially if you are looking for something, in the new build space, you will have a handful of options from all these builders that I just mentioned, depending on what your price range is and what you're looking at. But besides the residential development, you are looking at a ton of, amenities being built. Like there is a Rosenberg Community Center that is being built right at the corner of this intersection. So you will have a new community center. There's literally a Southwest Public Library just opened up a month ago, and that's right here in this neighborhood. You can pretty much walk from here. But besides that, let's talk about some established amenities, right? So despite the fact that this whole subdivision is brand new, you will not have to go through the growing pains of a new subdivision where there's virtually nothing around you. In this neighborhood, if you were to locate somewhere around here, you already have Sunrise Shopping Plaza, which is an outdoor strip plaza. You have Sunfish Shopping Center, which has, the food basics, Dollarama, and there's a bank there. So all the things that you need. And there are some quick serve restaurants as well. And some, of course, the salon and some of those services, right? So all the things that you need on a regular basis, you'll pretty much find it at your doorstep. Highway 8 is also about 5 minutes if you do have to commute. So that's what I like, despite the fact that you buy something that's, a couple of years old or even something brand new from one of those builders. You will not have to go through or deal with the pains of a growing community. So that's a little bit about this mid 700. What I'm going to do is show you a glimpse of this neighborhood. And if you have been following my videos long enough, you've probably seen a lot of this neighborhood. But what I'm going to do is head back to my car, show you around a little bit of this community and the neighborhood. And then I'm going to see you at my third stop, where we will look at something quite different from what you've just seen. So that's going to be in the high 700,000. So we're going to head straight there. Stay tuned and let's get right into it. All right, so my next home that I wanted to show you guys is actually the one that's right across the street. And this is where I'm in a completely different and rather mature neighborhood. You can see that detached right across the street with the gray brick and the black garage door. That's the one we are looking at. It's, something that's not built in the recent times or in early 2000s like we saw earlier. This one is rather built in the 1988. And this actually just sold for $772. It's a detached home on a very good lot. You're looking at about 100 feet deep, 30 feet wide, single garage detached, which is very deep lot actually because you can easily park 3 cars in the driveway. Plus you do have a garage space for 1 car. Now, what this home has to offer is 1,300 square feet, 3-bedroom layout. It's finished from top to bottom, including new lightings, new floorings, new kitchen. I mean, you look at the pictures from inside and it's like a move-in ready, like a dream come true home for majority of the buyers. So this home is how I would define the turnkey property, which basically you move in and start living without having to spend a dime. So this is where, if you were to look for something in a rather mature and established neighborhood, I mean, look at those tree lines that you see as I walk around, right? That tells you the age of this neighborhood. Very nice and mature neighborhood of Forest Heights. And with it being a rather established neighborhood, you have everything you need at a doorstep. Shopping options, dining options, highway access, some great schools right here within the boundaries of this neighborhood. But the only thing you will not find is a lot of newer construction. Most of the construction you will find in this neighborhood of Forest Heights is going to be dated, but this is where you will find some really good deals. I mean, just think about it, right? Like I-7s can get you detached. That's pretty much move-in ready. It does have 2 full washroom, and it does have a finished basement as well, which is 650 square feet, just around that. So the basement is also very well laid out if you look at the pictures, and that's what I like overall. I know on the second level, like above grade, you have about just around 1,300 square feet. But guess what? You do have a finished basement, which is very well laid out. And, especially if you are someone who is working from home and need that additional quiet space, basement can come very handy. And the best part is the home is finished from top to bottom. So this is what you are looking at. If you were to go for something newer in the detached space in the high 700s, you will definitely find a handful of options, but it'll be mostly 30 feet lots, around 1,500 square feet, maybe 15 to 1,700, nothing too big, may or may not have a finished basement. And on the other side, if you still want to go with detached but something older, then you can rather look at something this. The construction is old, but guess what? The home itself has been renovated from top to bottom. So that's the high 700. I am going to show you guys one more home, which is a bungalow, because you know how we saw this is a 2-story layout. I am going to show you one bungalow style layout, which will give you a rather even better perspective about your options, especially in the high 700s. So don't go anywhere. I am going to head back to my car, show you a glimpse of this neighborhood. It's really beautiful. I mean, you see how quiet the streets are, right? It's so nice and suburban, yet you're very close to virtually everything that you will need. So that's what I like about this rather established and mature neighborhoods. But like I said, I'm going to head back to my car and I'm going to show you around the neighborhood, and I'll see you at the final stop where you will see a beautiful bungalow in the high 700. So stay tuned and let's get right into it. Okay, so I'm at my final stop here, and the home that you see right behind me, this is a backsplit, 4-level backsplit that actually just sold for $784,000 in just a month of May. So fairly relevant, fairly recent. And this is where I wanted to show you guys something other than a typical 2-story layouts we have seen. Now, one thing worth noting is it is located on a quiet coast. As you can see, there is no street or through traffic going through this. So very private, very suburban in nature. And I mean, look at the tree lines. Again, I keep talking about it, but that tells you the age of this neighborhood and the age of the home. So this one in particular is 1984 built. A beautiful home. If you look at the pictures, very well laid out. And it's a 4-level backsplit, so hard to explain, but if you look at the photos and look at the layouts, basically you have 3 bedrooms on the main level, and you do have 2 additional bedrooms on the basement. So on the main level, you have about 1,150 square feet, where you have 3 bedrooms, plus you do have a kitchen, dining, living, and you have a 3-piece washroom. So it's pretty much everything on the same level. I mean, split levels between the backsplits, but I mean, just look at this side of the house. That will give you some idea. Like I said, this kind of layouts can be hard to explain in the video, but if you were to look at it, it'll make more sense when you look at the pictures. But in below grade, what we call the basement, because of that spacious, layout, which is not a typical 2-story, you have over 800 square feet on the basement. So you have 2 good-sized bedrooms, as well as a 3-piece washroom in your finished basement. And the home itself, I mean, overall, if you ask me, a good size, a good layout for a smaller family, and for a high 700,000, this could be a good option, especially if you are someone who is not looking for that typical 2-story layouts, something other than that, and you definitely don't want a townhome. This could be a great option. And just look at how quiet the street is, and right across, you can see there is I'm not sure if you can see, but we have one of the secondary schools right here. So if you have school-going kids, this could be fairly close and walking distance, the nearest school. Now, I hope this does give you a diverse perspective about your options. I didn't want to show you just one type of homes, and this is where I try to drive around different neighborhoods within the town and different types of homes. So that gives you a really hands-on perspective as to what really are the options from low to high 700s. And like I said, from towns to detached and further detached into the split levels and bungalow style homes, you have a range of options And I have done a series of videos like this in the past. And if you look at those past videos, which was, I believe, about a year ago, you will see what you could find between that 7 and 8 back then versus now has changed quite a bit because the market, conditions that has allowed it for buyers to have better options, right? So nonetheless, I hope you got some value. And if you got, then be sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and tap on that bell so you are the first one to get notified. I am going to continue doing a series of this kind of videos that will give you a better perspective about each price point from 8 to 9, 9 to a million. Maybe I'll even do 6 to 7 that will give you a good idea about your options in each of those price points. So stay tuned for that. Nonetheless, whether you are thinking of moving in 9 days or 9 months, be sure to reach out. All my contact info is right below in the description. I'll be more than happy to help you and family make a smooth move in and around Kitchener-Waterloo. Until next time, well, I will continue to show you around this town.